Alright. What is that? Alright. Okay. Alright. La la. Okay. La loo. Alright. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. Hey guys, Young Drummer here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. What I have today is I have a Ludwig late 70s Quadra Plus concert tom kit that I have converted to have the reso heads on there. We're gonna do a sound test. I'm gonna play for you how it sounds with the reso heads on. I'm gonna take all the reso heads off and do another sound test about what the toms would sound like in their original configuration. So stick around and we're just gonna get right into it. So about the kit, what this is I have a 13, a 14, a 15 by 12. Let me start over. Okay, I got a 13 by 9, a 14 by 10, a 15 by 12, a 16 by 14, which has become an awesome floor tom for me. And then behind me, you can't really see it, but the 18-inch that came with the Quadra Plus configuration, that came with the reso head on there because they felt that maybe it was too much with that one. So when I got the kit, bought it off a guy off Craigslist, came with a matching 22, and then later I added a 24 and the serial numbers are just a couple of years off. This is like the toms are all from like 77 or 79 or something. And the bass drum, which was an amazing shape. What was that? That was probably like 1980. In the bass drum, it has a rounded blue olive badge, and the concert toms have a pointy olive badge. So the pointy ones, as I understand it, are a little bit from like the mid-70s, early mid-70s on, and then they became rounded because people started snagging sweaters and clothes, and the pointy badges started to crinkle a little bit. So I'm going to ramble and be a whole plethora of knowledge about this stuff that I've picked up throughout the years. So what this kit consists of is 6-ply maple. The bearing edges were good enough that I found that I could get away with drilling and doing mini lugs, and I'll throw pics about what all that stuff is. It's the difference between a small Ludwig tom lug and a mini lug. So basically I just kept measuring. How I did it is I kept measuring and nervously measuring because I've never drilled toms before, and then just kept checking over the measurements. Kind of looked at a template, took all the lugs off, looked at kind of an idea about how the distance was from the batter, where those lugs were placed, and just replicated where those holes would go. Went on eBay and got the mini lugs, and just basically went on. I think I went on Amazon and got like the hoops. They're not Ludwig hoops; they're Gibraltar, but they're good enough for the amount of lugs. Just matched the lugs. The number of lugs that was on each tom. On the 16 by 14, I just basically got the Ludwig mounts to hold the legs, and I switched out all the mounts because these concert toms came with the Ludwig style. It's a circle clip mount, which I'll also throw a pic up. Took that off, sold those, replaced those with the Ludwig L-arm thing from the 70s where that kind of goes. I'll also throw a pic up of that. It came with hanging stands, which was Hercules stands, and those stands were these clip things that would hold 2 toms each. So basically, in the configuration that it came with, it goes in from small to largest. And I have this in this weird Billy Cobham Smashing Pumpkin setup that I really am digging. But the 13 and 14 would hang on a stand. The 15 and the 16 would hang on a stand, and that would kind of encompass, like they would go around your bass drum in the way that you wanted to, and then you would just have the 18-inch hanging on to where like your normal, where the floor tom would hang out. And that's basically how it all happened. And basically when I got the kit, it came with the Supra, which was sort of as a catalog. It came with a 5-inch Supraphonic. That was pitted, and at the time I wasn't too into Supras, so I kind of got rid of it. And yeah, so, and then, but the thing is when I got it is, like concert toms don't really sell too well on the market. People don't really, they had this moment in time in the arena rock, like sort of 70s and 80s time. And then they went away, but people love them. And from the sound, I was surprised when I did the sound test about how interesting. So they're growing more on me, a concert tom, and I was seeing videos on YouTube about how the attack is there, but also that people love that there's a dip in the short resonance that happens with those. So you'll probably hear that weird dip in these. So I was happy to kind of replicate that with the toms. What I had generally on the heads is Emperors kind of on top, Emperors and pinstripes. And then I had Ambassadors on all the bottom. My 13-inch, I need to have the bearing at the top bearing edge recut You can't really see it, but it tunes up fine and stuff like that, but the head has this little crinkle in it, which sometimes kind of happens when I've placed that bearing edge on a flat surface, such as my door that you guys can't see over here, and it does have a little bit of a wobble. If you're going to convert concert toms, you have to make a judgment call about how bad the bottom bearing edges are. I'll throw a pickup of the bearing edges on these, that they were kind of good enough for me. But what as you guys probably know, is that in the vintage drum world in the 60s, 70s, 50s, when people would take off their reso heads, that was somewhat so they could throw one tom into a bass drum, or so there's this like sort of, they're nesting drums to like without cases, and a bearing it just get fucked up all over the place. So these were good enough and I can get away with it, and they tuned up fine. They were great. And yeah, I really love the kit. It's got a really big chunky sound for me. What else can I say about it? Yeah, if you get them, you can get, people, I think on the market, people like get a little bit excited about how a concert tom, if they're not really in the know, but I think it's ridiculous to get a concert tom kit, because it's sort of, they're not really as dynamic as toms that have the reso heads in my mind. Some people love them, but I've seen them overpriced. So if you want to do this, is the cool thing about it is, you can get them for cheap, and you have these big, beautiful, like melodic toms, like hopefully you kind of saw from the video. And basically, but the cost does come from getting the bottom heads, getting the tension rods, getting the bottom hoops, and getting those vintage matched lugs from either Reverb or eBay or wherever you guys want to get them. There's great Facebook groups out there that people are like trading parts and stuff like that. So you got to weigh out those costs. You got to crunch a little bit of numbers, because basically, so I needed 14 lugs, another 8, 22 lugs, another 8, 30. So I needed 30 mini lugs to get this kind of going, and I didn't want to do a small regular Ludwig as versus to the mini lugs. I wanted mini lugs on there. So that's the video, that's my story. Sticking to it. Oh, there's a weird thing about, I love this 24-inch kick that I got with it. It just basically adds a little bit more meat to the kit than the 22. The 22 was not bad, but when you're out there shopping for drums on Craigslist, you come across some weird stuff. Like the guy I bought this from, he was a character, and the kit had been in disrepair for a while. I cleaned it up, did a lot of work on it, but the bass drum had this weird hair stain in it. So I'm thinking at some point that 22 that came with this kit, it just looked like a cat had babies in it. It was just sort of like, so it just kind of creep me out, having it. So I got rid of that. I did clean it up and sanitize it and sand it away, the stain a little bit, but that's the kind of danger you run out there in vintage drum world. You got, animals having babies, and, when people are taking off reso heads, I'm sure you guys have found lots of fun stuff in there. Newspaper clippings from like the 60s or whatever, if both heads are on there. Anyway, I'm rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And the snare drum that I was playing on this, speaking of converted concert toms, the snare drum, I'm going to be doing a separate video on this. Let me take this off and show you guys. This is what the snare drum that I played in this video, come on, is a converted concert tom smoked Vistalite 14-inch by 8-inch. This drum, which I love, I did the same thing around the same time. On eBay, I saw a 14-inch. It was a 14 by 10? No, that couldn't have been. It was a weird size, because this was a hanging concert tom. I can prove it, because there is the holes from that circle clip mount. And I'll do a whole other separate sound test on this. And funny bit of history, like this was one of those rare concert toms with the weird half projector thing in the late 80s. This is sort of, well, it's still a pony badge, so the serial number takes us probably up to around 1979. But what I liked about it is it was a 10 lug, almost like a, like a Supra. 10 lug, and then I you know, more buying mini lugs, and threw the mini lugs basically on there and had a professional person, Precision Drum in upstate New York. They drilled the holes, gave me some bearing edges, gave me some snare beds, even, I wonder if that was there. Yeah, I think I even had them drill holes for a muffler just to have it on there. All the parts of Ludwig, I had an error appropriate P85. Is that a P85? P83, P85? Whatever. It's the one that people hate. I like them. I don't really mind them too much. And there you have it. So I'll do a sound test on that. Stick around for that. And I'll take you guys for a little short tour of, I'm going to be doing more videos. And feel free to comment in the comment section about what kit you would like me to do next. Would you like to see the Slingerland Radio King? There's a really cool story on that one. This is my 70s Slingerland 2012, 2013-16 that was a total disaster. My favorite kit, Silver Sparkle 1967 Ludwig, which I have in the sort of the same configuration as this maple kit. You guys have already seen me do a video on that Rogers kit, and back there is a Sonar Teardrop kit. So I'm going to be doing a video on all of those, taking you on a little tour here. But tell me which ones you guys want to see more of. Which one do you want to see first? Comment, make fun of me, I don't give a shit. Just do what you gotta do. Subscribe. Have a great day, guys. Hope you liked the video. Bye-bye.